We're here again to, really dig into some transformative knowledge, ideas that can kind of shift how you see things.
Yeah, definitely.
And today, wow, we've got some fascinating sources. They detail Lord Buddha's cardinal principles. Specifically, we're looking at the Eightfold Path, Aso Uniga Marga.
Right. And our mission today, it's not just about listing these 8 things like a history lesson.
No.
We really want to dive into the philosophy behind them, especially the context given in these particular sources, how this deep intuitional knowledge connects directly to needing to radically change our socioeconomic systems.
So it's like a roadmap, not just for being informed, but actually being like well-directed, aiming for positive change.
Exactly. Well-directed is the perfect term. Progressive, positive action.
Okay, so before we even get to the path itself, the sources start with defining Buddha. It's important, right? Not just a name.
Crucial. It clarifies the goal. Buddha, according to these texts, means someone who has deep spiritual knowledge, someone guided primarily by intuition.
Intuition.
Okay.
And that's set apart from other ways of knowing.
Absolutely. The philosophy lays out 3 distinct layers, kind of like an evolutionary ladder of knowledge. At the very base, you have inborn instinct, pure survival code.
Like animals just knowing things.
Precisely. The octopus knows a crab is food. The peacock knows the snake is an enemy. It's hardwired, no learning involved.
Gotcha. Baseline programming. What's level 2?
That's knowledge gained through experience. Think more developed animals learning through, trial and error, clashes, cohesions, figuring things out in their environment, adapting.
Okay, makes sense. And then there's training. Like with pets.
Yeah, that's a bit higher still. Knowledge from training dogs, monkeys, where external repetition shapes behavior.
Right. But humans, we have something else.
That's the defining factor, the thing that makes someone a Buddha. It's this subtler, higher knowledge. Intuitional knowledge. It goes beyond instinct, beyond experience, beyond training.
So it's like an inner knowing, a spiritual depth.
Exactly. It lets you perceive the fundamental truth of things, bypassing just what your senses tell you.
Okay, so if that's the goal, harnessing this intuition, becoming a Buddha, how do we actually do that in our lives, in society? That's the path, right?
That's the Eightfold Path, Aso Uniga Marga. And importantly, these instructions were meant for everyone.
Right, not just monks or scholars.
No, given in the common language. So let's list them out first because they really work together as a system.
Okay, lay them on us.
We have Samyak Darshana, Samyak Sam kalpa, Samyak Vak, Samyak jiiva, Samyak Vyayoma, Samyak Karmanta, Samyak Smriti, and Samyak Smati.
8 steps. And you mentioned the language. Marga versus Moga?
Yeah, it's a neat little linguistic detail from the sources. Marga is the classical Sanskrit word for path.
Okay.
But Buddha taught in Prakrit, the language people actually spoke then, and in Prakrit, Marga became Maga.
So just a pronunciation shift.
Seems small, but it signifies accessibility. It means these weren't some highbrow philosophical secrets. They were practical tools given directly to the masses for real change. Revolutionary change, even.
Love that. Okay, let's start unpacking them. First up, Samyak Darshana, proper seeing. This sounds foundational.
It absolutely is. It's the engine, really. And like you said earlier, it's not just seeing. We have to move beyond just physical observation.
Use that intuition we talked about.
Exactly. The word darshana itself has that duality. It can mean ordinary, external sight.
What you see with your eyes.
Right. But its deeper meaning, the one demanded here, is to see with intuition, inner vision.
Okay, how does that play out? The sources give an example, right? The stealing analogy.
Yes, and it's incredibly powerful. Let's really get into it. Imagine you see a man stealing something, maybe food.
Okay.
If you only use external seeing, ordinary sight, what's your conclusion?
Well, he's stealing. He broke the law. He's a criminal, needs to be punished. Simple.
Right. And that's often where society stops, isn't it? At the visible act.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Samyak Darshana says, no, apply inner vision, ocular seeing, look deeper. And what might you see then?
Maybe. You see why he's stealing.
Exactly. You see the man hasn't eaten in 4 days. You see the immense pressure, the systemic issue that forced him into that act. The whole focus shifts.
Ah, okay. So it's not excusing the act, but understanding the root cause.
Precisely. And that understanding, that inner vision, it doesn't just lead to pity. It compels a different kind of decision.
What kind of decision?
Not just about the individual anymore. It leads you to decide that you must fundamentally remodel the socioeconomic structure.
Wow, okay, that's huge. So the goal becomes fixing the system.
Yes, so that no one is ever forced into immorality, into stealing, just to survive. Food, clothes, shelter, basic necessities. It reframes the problem entirely.
From personal failing to systemic failing. You mentioned ocular seeing versus optical. What's the difference there?
Good question. Optical is purely physical light hitting your retina, basic sight. But ocular seeing, as described here, is physico-psychic. It integrates your physical senses with your mental, your intuitive faculty. Samyak Darshana demands that kind of seeing. It's holistic.
So it's about using your whole being, mind, and senses to understand the full picture, the causes.
Exactly. And that drive to fix the system, not just the symptom, is why the sources link this directly to the origins of PROUT philosophy.
Right, you mentioned that earlier. PROUT is the practical application of this vision.
Precisely. The source material is quite stark. It says humans, after, get this, 10 lakhs of years, still haven't created a truly fair, well-knit society.
10 lakhs?
Yeah.
That's 1,000,000 years, right? Ouch. That's quite an indictment.
It is. So PROUT's goal, born from Samyak Darshana, is to actually implement that remodeling, to create a system where basic needs are met for everyone. It's the socioeconomic follow-through.
So for anyone listening, if you encounter a problem, say crime or poverty, and your first instinct is just to label someone a sinner or a problem,
then you haven't applied Samyak Darshana. You've stopped short.
you have to look deeper, find the structural reasons, the causal factors that made that person act that way.
And then dedicate yourself to changing those factors. It's fundamentally progressive, optimistic even. It implies that much of what we call badness is circumstantial.
And therefore fixable. Wow.
It's fixable through structural change, yeah.
Right, so that's the vision. But vision without action, well, it doesn't change anything, so the path moves to purpose, right?
Yeah.
Samyak Sam kalpa.
Exactly, firm determination. But first, it redefines what it means to be human. It tackles that old saying, man is a rational animal.
And it disagrees with that.
Fundamentally, it says, no, man is not an animal. The key difference.
What is it?
Animal life is about the basics. Eating, drinking, sleeping, and dying. Just survival, instinct.
Okay.
But human life is defined as an ideological flow, a movement, a trajectory towards something higher, towards spirituality, towards realizing a purpose, a mission.
Humans have a mission, animals don't. That's the split.
That's the core distinction made here. And because of that, Samyak Sam says a person needs to decide early on what their mission in life actually is.
Decide your purpose and do it early. Why early?
The sooner you define it, the more time, the more scope you have to actually achieve it, to make that vision real.
Makes sense. Get your direction set. And mission, the sources connect that word.
To the root mit, meaning to do something worth doing. So it can't just be any goal. It has to be worthwhile, progressive, aligned with welfare.
Okay, so it's not just having a goal, it's firm determination. What does that feel like?
It's an internal commitment. I must do this. I must succeed in my mission. Failure is not an option. It's that level of resolve, unshakable. That's the second key factor after the right vision.
Vision plus determination. Got it. And that leads naturally to doing the work.
To Samyak Karmanta, proper completion of work. Sounds straightforward, maybe.
Like finish your tasks.
Yes, but the standard is incredibly high. The principle is, once you start a specific work, any work, you cannot leave it until it's properly finished, until there's a happy finishing.
A happy finishing. Not just done, but done well and completely.
Exactly. No loose ends, no half measures. And this applies everywhere. Your personal life, family, job, social projects. Every single task requires proper compliance, full completion.
That anecdote you mentioned earlier really hits this home. The teacher initiating someone and just saying, go, complete the work, don't come back here until it's done.
Right. It shows total trust in the person's samapa, their determination. Once the vision and resolve are there, the expectation is just finish it properly.
No need for check-ins or pats on the back midway. Just get it done.
It demands complete follow-through. Think about it. In today's world, so many projects start, fizzle out. This principle is the antidote to that. It's the engine of effectiveness. Vision, determination, completion.
Okay, so vision, resolve, and follow through. Now, how do we conduct ourselves day to day while pursuing this mission? That brings us to the next couple of principles.
Yes, Samyak Vak and Samyak Jiiva. These are about daily conduct, ensuring our actions align with our Samapa.
Let's start with Samyak Vak, proper speech.
It's broader than just speech. Vak here means the expression of all your motor organs, efferent organs. Hands, feet, tongue, how you carry yourself, everything you do outwardly.
Oh, okay. So it's about controlling all our actions, all our expressions. What's the rule?
Simple but profound. Whatever you do with those motor organs must be for the welfare of living beings.
For welfare. Always. Any examples given?
Yeah, and they're quite specific, like don't kill an ant unnecessarily. Don't use harsh or bad words towards an innocent person. It's about controlling your impulses, your reactions, your vocal cord, everything.
So even small actions, small words, they matter. It demands constant mindfulness about our impact, especially relevant today with how easily negativity spreads online, for example.
Absolutely. It requires a constant mental filter. Is this action, this word, going to cause unnecessary harm? If yes, then it's not Samyak Vak. You have to align your expression fully with that welfare mission.
Okay, and then Samyak A, jiiva, proper occupation, how we earn a living. This feels very relevant.
Extremely. The basic standard is what the sources call the harmless standard. Your job, your way of earning money must be harmless. It must not go against the interests of any good people.
So obviously things like stealing, fraud, exploitation, anything clearly antisocial is out.
Right off the bat, yes. But it goes much deeper than just the physical act of the job.
How so?
The sources stress that occupation isn't just physical, it's also psychic, mental. This is the really demanding part.
Mental occupation, what does that mean?
It means you mustn't steal mentally, even if you're not physically cheating someone. If you're spending your mental energy plotting how to exploit them, how to find loopholes for personal gain at others' expense, that mental activity itself is considered impure jiiva.
Wow. So even if your job title is fine, if your mind is engaged in harmful or exploitative thinking related to it, that's improper occupation.
Exactly. It implies you need control over your sensory organs too, what you take in. If you're constantly consuming media that fuels greed or malice, it pollutes your mental state. And thus your jiiva, even if your physical actions seem okay.
So it demands purity of intention and thought, not just action. Control your physical and your psychic output.
Yes. Your physical work and your mental state need to be aligned, both serving that larger progressive mission you've set with your Samyak.
This holistic view, mind and body working together, that seems to lead perfectly into the next one, Samyak Vyama. Proper exercise, but it's not just physical exercise, is it?
Not at all. This is a really fascinating, almost futuristic take on wellness. It's about balance, and it comes with a pretty stark warning about imbalance.
A warning. What's the risk?
The sources say if you develop your physical body intensely, lots of exercise, getting really strong, but you neglect the mental, the psychic body, those physically powerful people can actually become a bit deficient intellectually.
Really? That's counterintuitive to how we often think about fitness today.
Yeah.
Physical strength leading to intellectual decline. Why?
The philosophy suggests it's about calibration. If physical development outpaces psychic development, especially over generations, the claim is that the intellectual faculties can actually diminish. It even mentions the cranium size potentially lessening, the brain getting smaller.
Wow, that's a bold claim. It suggests mental and spiritual effort actually maintains our physical capacity for thought.
It implies a deep connection, yes. So to avoid this decline, Samyak Vyayama mandates balance. It requires a threefold exercise routine.
3 parts. What are they?
1, proper exercise for the physical body, taking care of your physical health. That's the part we usually focus on.
Okay.
2, proper exercise for the psychic body, mental exercises, things that sharpen the intellect, cultivate emotional stability, develop concentration.
Mind workouts. Got it. And the third?
3, proper exercise for the spiritual body. This means dedicated spiritual practice, meditation, contemplation activities aimed at connecting with the supreme entity, aligning with that core ideological flow of humanity.
Physical, psychic, spiritual. All 3 need exercise. And the sources are pretty emphatic about needing that third part, the spiritual practice.
Extremely emphatic. The consequence for lacking it is described very severely.
What happens if you're strong physically and sharp mentally, but missing the spiritual dimension?
The text says such a person is considered no better than a plant.
A plant. Why a plant?
Because they're rooted only in the physical and mental or material world. They might be successful, capable, but they aren't progressing towards that inherent spiritual potential, that ultimate human destiny.
Ouch. And there's another label, too.
Yes. Socially, such a person's strong, smart, but spiritually void is called a Satan, or even worse, a polished Satan.
A polished Satan. What does that mean?
It means a hypocrite. Someone whose outward success, their physical prowess or intellectual sharpness, just masks a deep spiritual emptiness. They might look good, talk the talk, even achieve worldly things, but without that spiritual grounding, their actions ultimately lack true progressive value. They might even become subtly destructive.
So the balance physical, mental, and spiritual is crucial to ensure you're actually a force for good, for genuine progress.
Exactly. Samyak Vyayama is about holistic development to create a truly balanced, effective, and beneficial human being.
Okay, that comprehensive balance then sets us up for the next principle, which seems to deal more with the inner world again. Samyak Swarti, proper memory.
Yes, proper memory or proper retention. This one gets really interesting, focusing on how we manage our own mental landscape, our past experiences.
How do the sources define memory itself?
Sarmati. It's a very precise Sanskrit definition. Anuphavisaya sampramasasmurti.
Okay, break that down for us.
Anuphavisaya is experienced subject or object. Sampramasa has to do with recreating or regenerating that experience internally. So memory is defined as the ability to recreate the internal psychic projection of something you experienced before.
So like recalling the image of an elephant you saw years ago. If you can bring that mental image back, that's Shrii Shrii.
Exactly. And forgetting is simply the inability to recreate that internal psychic projection. It's all about internal mental function.
Okay, so what makes memory samyak, or proper?
It's about being selective. Samyak Smriti means consciously choosing to remember only whatever is congenial to the spirit of never-ending human progress.
Only remember things that help you move forward.
Yes. And crucially, allowing yourself, even making yourself, forget other things.
Forgetting is a conscious practice. That feels radical, almost. We're usually told to remember everything, learn from mistakes.
Learning is different from dwelling. Think about it. If someone hurt your feelings unnecessarily years ago and you keep replaying that memory, what does it achieve?
Just pain, really. Mental agony.
Exactly. You're hurting yourself repeatedly. The instruction here is blunt. Try to forget it. Conserve your psychic energy. Don't waste it on past hurts or negativity that doesn't serve your forward momentum, your mission.
So it's like mental hygiene. Keep the good stuff, the fuel for progress, and actively discard the mental junk, the pain, the trivial stuff that holds you back.
Perfectly put. It's about managing your internal resources for maximum positive effect. And there's one thing, above all else, that you must retain.
What's that?
The most important item to keep within your spirity, your memory, is the name or the idea of Parama Purusa, the supreme entity, the ultimate spiritual goal.
That spiritual destination we talked about?
Yes. That idea must not be forgotten, not even for a single moment. It's the anchor, the guiding star that ensures your selective memory, your focus, is always aligned with the highest potential, with true progress.
So your ultimate goal becomes the filter for what you allow to occupy your mind.
Wow, okay.
It ensures the whole process remains spiritually directed. So we've covered 7 steps. Darshana, Samkalpa, Valk, Jiiva, Vyayama, Karmanta, Smrti, leading up to the final one, Samyak Samohi.
Yes, the culmination. Samyak Samohi. This is where the path leads.
Often translated as concentration or absorption, but it feels like more than just focusing hard, given everything that comes before it.
Oh, absolutely. In the context of this whole integrated path, Samyak Samadhi isn't just everyday concentration. It's the state of perfect spiritual absorption. It's the realization, the experience of that mission we set out with. It's the merging of the individual consciousness with that supreme entity that Smrti kept reminding us to focus on.
So it's the ultimate goal realized. The state you reach when all the other 7 steps are perfectly practiced.
Exactly. Think of the first 7 as purifying and preparing the entire human system. Darshana clears the vision, Samalpa sets the resolve, Vak and Ajiva purify daily actions and livelihood, Vyayama balances the physical, mental, and spiritual bodies, Karmanta ensures completion, and Smrti keeps the mind focused on the goal.
So when that whole system is perfectly tuned,
Samadhi, that state of blissful absorption, happens almost spontaneously. It's a natural result of a perfectly prepared and aligned being. It's the full blossoming of that ideological flow that defines us as human.
It's just that ultimate spiritual realization isn't some mystical fluke, but the logical outcome of dedicated, balanced practice across all areas of life.
Precisely. And importantly, it ties back to the beginning. You can't really achieve true samadhi if your darshana was flawed, if you ignored the need for social change, if you allowed the systems that cause suffering to persist unchallenged. The path is holistic. Personal perfection demands working for collective welfare.
Wow, okay. So looking back at this whole Eightfold Path, it's really not just a set of old rules. It's a coherent, dynamic system. It feels incredibly progressive, even futuristic.
It absolutely is. It's optimistic about human potential, both individual and collective. It provides a blueprint for building a better self and a better world, where that inner vision directly shapes our external reality.
A roadmap for balanced, holistic progress, physical, mental, social, spiritual.
And that brings us back to that core idea from Samyak Darshana, remodeling society so no one is forced into wrongdoing. Looking at our world now with all its pressures, the challenge for each of us right now is, what can you do? What concrete steps, based on your own firm determination, your Samyak Sam, can you take in your own life, your own community, to actively lessen those pressures, to contribute to that systemic remodeling?
That's definitely something to really think about. How do my choices contribute or detract from that larger goal?
It's the practical application of this whole philosophy, something worth mulling over long after this discussion ends.
Absolutely. And before we wrap up this deep dive, just a quick note. If these kinds of ideas, these frankly revolutionary concepts about physical, mental, spiritual health, about building a better lifestyle, if they resonate with you,
ideas that can genuinely help you stay cool, calm, collected, maybe lead a more exemplary life,
then we really encourage you to subscribe to the Sadvipra's YouTube channel. That way, you won't miss out on more content focused on this kind of transformative practical wisdom.
Definitely worth checking out.
For sure. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive, and we'll catch you next time.